Hey guys, how are we doing? Cryptoinsightuk here, bringing you back another TA video. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the DXY, XRP versus Bitcoin, and XRP versus the dollar. We're going to jump straight into Bitcoin on the daily. I want to point out the RSI. I know I touched on this slightly on Twitter, but I really want to show you something. So if we really zoom out here on Bitcoin, as you can see, I'm looking all the way back here into March of 2020, which is actually the C19 crash. That is the last time that Bitcoin was as deep into the RSI and the oversold territory as we are right now. From the absolute low to the swing high that it produced, we've actually rallied 163% in about 56 days. If we were to make some sort of similar move to that, we would be looking at around a $65,000-ish Bitcoin, which coincides quite nicely with all-time highs. Does this mean that we're going to get that rally? I don't know, but I'm just saying it is possible. I would put it on the unlikely side, although I do personally feel, as I've said a few times, I think Bitcoin will hit all-time highs this year. I feel many people are waiting for the halvening, and that narrative is really strong in the community, and I think people are going to get wrong-footed. People might say, oh, the only way you're going to get that is with a Bitcoin spot ETF. Well, look, I think a Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved sooner rather than later. We don't know what is around the corner for Bitcoin. There are a lot of positive catalysts, as I tweeted this week. So don't keep your head in the sand. I'm also not saying it's going to do what I've just said there. I'm not saying it is going to go parabolic like that. I'm just saying it's highly possible. And I've just shown you in the past, when the RSI got this deep before, this is exactly what we did. However, there are some significant differences. The differences are in the C19 crisis, we obviously crashed a lot further. Bitcoin's only crashed about 11% in those candles, and back in C19 it crashed about 40-50% in the days before it set this RSI bottom. One other thing actually that I'd like to point out about the RSI is that last time we touched the oversold area, it did mark the bottom, and the time before that it was very, very close to the bottom, being the absolute bottom that we got back in November. We then did set a slightly lower low at 1550 when the RSI bottom came in about 16,000. However, a significant difference between the last time we actually touched the oversold area on the RSI is that we've lost the 200-day moving average. So could this be just a back test of support and then for a further leg up with the RSI coming so oversold? We haven't actually broken too much market structure on a technical level. We've came back and back tested the range that we back tested here. However, we have lost the 200 MA. So there are some conflicting pieces of technical analysis playing out in front of us right now. If we look on the weekly, we have actually crashed through both the 200 and the 20 moving average. I would like to see us rally about 10% before the end of the week, which is 6 days if possible, to give us the most bullish looking outcome for the weekly time frame. That would almost give us an engulfing candle on the weekly. That coupled with the daily RSI, we could get some spring off that daily RSI, push us up those 10 to 12% that we want, have the engulfing candle on the weekly then, and then be looking to move forward. That would be an extremely bullish setup. Also, on the monthly time frame, for us to finish bullish, I would like to see an 8.87% rally within the next 10 days. That would close out the month. These are in a perfect world. If we do close out here for the monthly, then we could be considered back into a bearish trend. We will be back below the 20 MA and the 50 MA, and closing below those is not a bullish signal when we've been on an uptrend. However, as I did say, no technical structure has been broken as of yet, because we are still yet to set a lower low. Quickly touching on to the DXY before we move on to XRP. DXY sometimes gives us a bit of a foreshadowing as to what might come in crypto. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of the DXY have been bullish and a bounce, and I have been calling for the DXY to make some sort of high here, a lower high, which is actually going to be an equal high to what we last had, where I've obviously highlighted the highs, and then hopefully continue downwards, as that gives us the leg to move up for crypto. If we zoom into the DXY, we can see a bit of a bearish divergence forming here. Although the DXY again has claimed the moving averages, just like Bitcoin has lost the moving averages, if we also look at the structure of the RSI, it's really up there near the overbought territory and starting to lip over. If we start to cross through the SMA, we are then coming down for a bearish trend and hopefully come and set a lower low here on the DXY, and that would continue with the trend confirmation that we are still in a downtrend here for the DXY after a period of distribution, which is good for crypto. Again, on the 4 hourly for the DXY, we've been continuing to set higher highs, and the RSI has stayed pretty much flat, which is another bearish divergence, meaning that momentum saying it's slowing down, but price is still getting higher. We've just broken below the SMA. I could see us start to fall off and lose some strength here as the buyers run out of steam. Now moving on to XRP versus Bitcoin on the daily. Although we did lose the 20 and the 50 MA, we have actually managed to hold the 200 MA, though we did wick below it. We also then crossed back bullish on the RSI, however we're still below 50, which means we are in a downtrend. I would like to see a bit more of a push here for XRP to really get a close above these moving averages and above this cluster of supply and demand, where we were really battling between the bears and the bulls for quite a long period, maybe like 10 days, until deciding we were going to continue on with this bearish trend after the impulsive breakout that we had when we had the decision from the court case. I would like to see some more green volume also for XRP for us to confirm this bullish move. On the weekly time frame, however, XRP versus Bitcoin has been very interesting. Although we did wick down below all 3 moving averages, we managed to close last week above all 3, which is very bullish for me. And finally, on the monthly time frame, I would like to see XRP outperform Bitcoin by about 6, 7, 8% before the monthly candle closes, which is about 10 days. This would confirm a very, very nice structure. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months trading, maybe 6 within a specific range. We came back tested the sign of strength, which is where we broke out of that range. We've back tested that support. We've wicked off that quite heavily so far. If we actually outperform Bitcoin by about 5 or 6%, 7% in the next 10 days, this is looking extremely bullish for the next month's candle. Now finally, if we look at XRP versus the dollar on the monthly time frame, it's a similar sort of setup with that monthly range that we were stuck in for however many months. You could even go all the way back to here, which is May of 2022, and say we were stuck under this specific price range at 55 cents for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 months before having that sign of strength again when we saw the lawsuit decision. We then came down, we've wicked through that sign of strength, closed all the open interest that will have been there, including my long position, stopped all of that leverage out, and just come back and back tested that support. If we do manage to get that monthly close up above 55 cents, that would be extremely bullish for me. We're also closing at the minute above the moving averages on the monthly. However, as we sit here and talk, we are below the 55 cent range that I've been talking about for so long, that is such a key resistance and support level. We still, as I said, have 10 days left to try and close above 55 cents for the monthly. On the weekly time frame as well, this is something that I did call out. We did manage to get that close just at 54, so just below that resistance level I'm talking about. However, it was above all 3 moving averages, even though we wicked below all 3 of them on our capitulation wick that we saw last week. Again, on the daily time frame, we did come down below all the moving averages, wicked below even the 200, but then we came back above and closed above that. We are right down towards the oversold area on XRP, so with some positive momentum, maybe some green bullish volume, we could get a good close above the 55 cent and set ourselves up for another push to the upside. If we did manage to get all the closes that I've talked about, let's have a look at where I would target. And as you may have seen on Twitter, I did put this chart out here as soon as we broke out, stating our resistance level between 89 cent and 94.5 cent, and our support level between 60 cent and 46 cent. This is where I said that we would be searching for a bottom or reversal, and this is where I said the support was. But as we crashed through the support, which closes between 55 and 59 cent, we then turn that into resistance. So if we manage to break back above that support, there's a lot of ifs going on here, as you can tell, and we're very choppy at the minute, then I would like to see us push up back towards that 93 cent zone. That would be where I'd be looking for the next key resistance level. Again, that's in a perfect world if we can get all the closures that I've just talked about. However, for now, we need to focus on flipping this support back into resistance if we can. And until that point, we are technically still stuck back in this range. the sentiment in the market, specifically around XRP and actually Bitcoin. To be fair, the market in general is rock bottom. I put a tweet out today with all the positives that are potentially coming in the market. So it's not all doom and gloom, it just feels that way right now. That isn't to say we can't come down further. Oftentimes when you have a big crash and a capitulation candle like this wick back to the upside, it's just all the shorts closing out, all the late leverage that's come on, that they then get stopped out, and then sometimes you can get a further push down, exhaustion from the buyers, a little bit of a further low, get rid of all that open interest again, get rid of all the longers that have come on here, just riding that pump, and then little accumulation and off we go to form some sort of bottoming structure here. However, I wouldn't be surprised to see us reverse straight out of this zone with such an aggressive wick to the downside. We've pushed back up, we're holding this zone pretty well at the minute. I don't want to say anything too early because right now I'm personally sitting on the sidelines watching, but with how low Bitcoin is, what the DXY is potentially telling us, and where we're sitting with XRP, I do think we're still in the zone where you can stay bullish, but nothing is confirmed until we flip this area back into support, which is currently resistance. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Have a think about it. We know what we're looking for. Let's see some bullish price momentum come out. Hopefully get some bullish catalyst from the narrative. That often moves the market. Normally when we've already had a bit of green price to start with. But we've got 10 days till the end of the month and I'm hopeful. Let me know what you guys think. If you did enjoy this, please share it. Drop me a follow. It helps me out a lot. Peace up, A-Town Downs, Crypto Insight UK would say.